Welcome to RNFC, the official Rebellious Noise Football Channel, where you'll find content such as goal hanging, live match reactions, as well as news and opinions on all aspects of the beautiful game. We will also cover some of the more cultural side of the sport, such as kit reviews, football nostalgia, and in-depth historical pieces on those who built the game that we love today. So win, lose or draw, make sure you subscribe before the full-time whistle blows.
Okay, welcome to the Rebellious Noise Football Channel. I'm Scott, and today I'm joined by Connor. What's up, Connor?
I'm very good. Everything's great. Thanks for having me on the channel.
No worries, mate. I'm good. I'm excited. It's my birthday, so I'm really good. I'm excited to talk about the England squad. Gareth Southgate's provisional squad has just been named, and we're going to get that up in just a moment. Technically speaking, so basically, what it is, I think, because of the Champions League final, Europa League final, and a few injuries, he's decided he's going to extend naming the full squad. So obviously today is May the 25th, and it come out last week that he'd be naming it today. And then late last night, he was like, hold on a minute. I've got a few more days. Maybe I should use them, which I think is wise. I don't know about you, Connor. What do you reckon?
I think that is probably the smarter decision. I mean, this is an unregular season because of the pandemic, obviously. So a lot of games have had to be squeezed in a shorter space of time. So I think for him, it's just like, I think he wants to make sure and he's certain because we have such a good chance as well. So just take a little bit more time. There's nothing wrong with that. I think he's making the better decision. Yeah,
and I think it'd be silly if he come out and just decided, well, I'm going to say it, and then literally Champions League final, someone gets injured. You know, it'd be kind of, you know, and then he's stuck. You know, he's stuck with certain players. The only problem it's going to cause is that this is going to obviously bring a bit of heartache for some players when they get kind of false hope. Right, so we got the club, we got the graphic here, so we're just going to bring that up, and this is the squad, Connor.
Okay.
Right, so
this is my first look as well. So
yeah, so in goal. Whoa.
That's strange. Where's Nick Pope?
No Nick Pope.
Wow.
Okay, right. That's the first. Okay, right. So we got Henderson, Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford, and Aaron Ramsdale. And no Nick Pope. I'm massively shocked by that already because a lot of people have him in their starting 11. Okay, going into defense, we've got Trent, which was obviously a big one. A lot of controversy, you know, dropping him in recent months, and people thought he might not get a shot here, but so far so good for him. Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Ben Godfrey, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Ben White. Okay. It's hard to figure out who's missing there.
I think my starting four are there. I'm pretty sure.
Who'd your four be? I think mine would be Maguire, Stones, Shaw, and Trent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the stats, and just purely based on the stats, I think I'd go for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben Chilwell, Mings, and Stones.
Interesting. Okay, right. So we're moving to midfield. If we are missing someone, I'm sure we'll figure out in a minute if anyone's missing. If anyone's looking at it and there's a glaring omission, sorry guys, we'll try and get back to it. There's a lot of names there. In midfield, Jude Bellingham. I'm really pleased about that. Jordan Henderson, obviously, still been a bit of a doubt because of what do you call it? The injury. Jesse Lingard. Fair play to the guy. You know, that loan move has worked out really well for him. Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, James Ward-Prowse. Now we're going to go straight into attackers because some of the people I would like to see somewhere might be put here instead. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish. That's the one I was worried about. Mason Greenwood, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka. Very pleased about that. Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling, and Ollie Watkins. Right, who have we got missing?
Well, we haven't got Ings. I can't see any Ings.
No Ings, yeah.
No Ings, which is a shame. They're taking Calvert-Lewin, but his stats aren't. I mean, he's scoring goals for sure, but he's not really creating any chances. So he's definitely your number 9, like true number 9, but I think I definitely prefer someone like Ollie Watkins. I've got his stats here somewhere. Ollie Watkins does great. 37 appearances this season, 14 goals, 5 assists, and 8 created chances, compared to Calvert-Lewin's 33 appearances and just 16 goals, no assists, and only 1 created chance. So, I mean, I think Ollie Watkins had a great season. I think Callum Wilson had a great season as well. And then looking at Danny Ings' stats as well, he even got more assists, more created chances than Calvert-Lewin. I think it's quite disappointing that he wasn't involved, to be honest. But then you've got people like Harry Kane, definitely should be there. You know,
I mean, you can't. Yeah. How many have we got? Let's have a see. We've got a few comments here as well. Oh, Dan's joined us. Okay, so Pope's having knee surgery.
Oh, I see.
Man, I didn't know that. Madison. Okay, was there no Madison?
I don't know. I
mean, I don't think it was. Let's have a quick look at the graphic again. No Madison.
I can't see him.
I would have thought with an extra extended squad at least he'd be getting in. Extended and extended in the sense that he's not named the full one. Wan-Bissaka as well. A lot of people thought he'd in. Obviously, Man United fans got something to say about that. Wow.
Yeah, I feel that as well, because I think Wan-Bissaka had some really good stats too. You know, 34 appearances, 13 clean sheets, 2 goals, 4 assists, and 2 created chances. And I think that's great considering that he's a fullback. You know. Yeah, exactly that. Awesome stats, yeah.
I'm trying to see if we can get... Okay, so Patrick Bamford misses out, obviously, as well. That's a name that you could have argued for. So you've got Ben White, Ben Godfrey, Sam Johnstone, and Aaron Ramsdale, who all have no caps, have been named. Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? I think Southgate definitely loves giving these people their first time, you know, their first chance. He's a firm believer in, okay, let me see what you've got, put it all out there, show me if you can do something amazing. I think that's where he's trying to go with this. I mean, I definitely believe that he should be playing Pickford to start with if that's his selection.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he's gone with, then I think you need to, yeah.
And then, in my opinion, I'd still stick with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben Chilwell, Mings, and Stones. Stones had a great season at Man City.
Yeah.
Considering that he's got such great stats, but he's only cleared the ball about 50 times compared to most others is over 100 times clearance. But then that just goes to show how great the Man City team really is, because they've just really protected him very well. It's not been vulnerable all season. It's been good stuff from Man City. But then obviously the reason why I'm not going for Harry Maguire is because when you look at his stats, really, it's 13 clean sheets, 2 goals, 1 assist, and 122 cleared. And then compare that to Tyrone Mings. He's got 1 more clean sheet, 14 clean sheets, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 170 balls cleared. So, I mean, I think he's really working hard, a lot harder than Maguire at the moment. And I definitely believe that he gets a chance. I'm also looking at Fico Tomori as well, and I'm not sure. Is he in the squad?
I don't think he is, no.
That's a shame as well.
Yeah.
I think he's been doing a great job at AC Milan, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's those that play in those foreign leagues, do they get noticed
his first time as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously Sancho's been noticed enough. Bellingham's been noticed.
They've had a great season.
I'm trying to see if I can get a version of this graphic. A version of this to kind of go that we can have somewhere else on the screen, so we're not covering our beautiful faces all the time. But I mean, how do you feel about the squad anyway, Connor? Are you happy with it? Are you optimistic? Do you think this is something that a team that could kind of take us to the top, or do you think there are still kind of issues in it?
I've said it, I think, from the beginning of the season. I've had like some weird optimism about it, just simply maybe from the last World Cup, but just watching all of this young talent kind of come through and really show up, you know, people like Mason Mount, Phil Foden, you know, they're doing incredible things at a young age at the moment in the Premier League and Champions League and whatnot. And I definitely believe that when it comes to strong teams, all-rounders and benches, we're definitely up there with a real quality, packed, full of talent team. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a really difficult choice for Southgate. It's probably the hardest team decision I think any England managers had to make in probably about 15 to 20 years, to be honest. And when you look at it and you see all of the midfielders that we could have picked, all of the strikers you could pick, the list just keeps going on. It just doesn't stop. There's so many talent. There's so much like potential in this team.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I guess could be disappointed, but they've got to understand that.
Oh yeah, like
the amount of people that we've got that to choose from, which is great. Like you say, it's a problem that not many England managers have had in the past. Obviously, the whole what do you call it? Like trying to fit in Scholes, Lampard, and basically, all that defense basically back in midfield back in the day was a tough decision as well, but not quite the same as this. I mean, you've got your nailed on players like Harry Kane. Harry Kane's always going to get it, and so he should, and that's coming from an Arsenal fan. But then you look at the midfield. I mean, this is the most I've been excited about an England midfield since those kind of golden generation days,
And I think the real concern here is, yes, there's so many great midfielders to pick in every position, but you have to figure out who's going to be able to support who and play with each other at the best quality and the best level. Because let's face it, this is one of the biggest competitions in the world. Maybe not the World Cup, but for European football, this is big competition. And to be able to get that kind of chemistry and that kind of play and creativity through the midfield is key. Especially with all of the talent that we have on our team, we need to be able to supply these passes. And for me, it's the central defense and the midfield we need to get right, and that's what makes us win this tournament.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we'll bring up some of the squad now. Again, we'll go across at the bottom. Dan's come through. Thank you very much, Dan, for sending us the names. So we've got again goalkeepers Henderson, Johnson, Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale. We actually had a few more comments. Dan was helping us out a little bit more, trying to point out some things for us. No Bamford, no Michael Keane. Yeah, Michael Keane as well. No Reece James. Yeah. Eric Dyer misses out as well. I kind of saw that one come in.
And Eric Dyer
as well.
Had a terrible season. I don't think he's been playing that well. I mean, I know you said Reece James, and I do agree with you there because I'm a Chelsea fan, of course, but when you look at his stats compared to quite a few others, it's not that great, to be honest. Even Kieran Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I would definitely take over Reece James. He's only had 32 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, and 4 chances created. I mean, for a right back, you'd expect him to be putting in a bit more crosses, opening up that play, especially through midfield. Right. And the way that he does play as well, it's not like a true fullback. He very much a wing back, so he's covering a lot more space. But in terms of someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's also covering quite a lot of space, he's also got a lot more assists, a lot more chances created, and is doing a lot better. And the same with Kieran Trippier, probably some of the best defensive work for Atletico as well.
Yeah, I think he's done really well to kind of get himself back in the conversation, Trippier, because I think that move has done him wonders. Obviously, they just won La Liga as well, didn't they? So, I mean, what a season. So to get himself back in it, because I do think in the last few squads, there was a lot of times where people were like, well, if he's dropped, kind of makes sense. He's not been, more so in the kind of tail end of last season going into this one. But I think that move has definitely done him wonders. Okay, so let's have a look again. Let's touch on a little bit more in the midfield. This is the thing with this, though. We were talking about the squad and how they kind of a lot of these players can play in different positions. So you could put Grealish down as a midfielder, for example. You could put Saka down as a midfielder. You can put Saka down as a defender. Which is why I'm really, really pleased to see. Again, as an Arsenal fan, I'm really pleased. Obviously,
he started off as a left back, no?
Sorry,
he started off as a left back, no?
I don't know if he started there, but he's done. Yeah, he was put there by Arteta this year. Did a lot as left back. I don't know about his younger days, but he's basically he's one of those players that for Arsenal was literally our kind of Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean? He's been doing. He can fill in anywhere. The only thing I was worried about him one time, because Southgate come to watch Arsenal play, and he had been carrying us for so long, he was burnt out, and we didn't have a particularly good game, like most of the games this season, to be fair. But he didn't have a great game, and I was worried for him after that. But I'm glad to see Southgate's looked at like the whole. I think Southgate's like that. I think he's mindful of a lot of things when he picks these squads, you know. So, but again, we can't be too sure. This isn't even the final squad. Touching on the forwards again there, Calvert-Lewin, Foden, Grealish, Greenwood. I'm glad Greenwood's getting the chances again as well. Kane, Rashford against Saka. We said Sancho, Sterling, Watkins. When you say those names back, man, it's exciting.
Yeah, of course. I mean, also kind of look back to the stats as well. I mean, I'd say I'd put Greenwood and Saka in a category where it's like, yeah, okay, they've improved like dramatically, and they're great young talent that's definitely going to come through. But when you look at their stats compared to some of the older players, they're not that great, like for this season, and it's understandable because they're still young, they're still learning. So I definitely wouldn't want to see them be starting a game. Like, bring them on when people are tired or it's another game and there's injuries and whatnot. Yeah, okay, for sure, they're there to have a good bench, right? But in my opinion, obviously Kane, Rashford, Sterling, they need a chance. But then in my eyes, Ollie Watkins, he deserves a start, if anything, out of all of these other should or maybe categories, if you know what I mean. Ollie Watkins is my guy.
What do you think? Maybe against
really impressed me
Scotland or someone like that? Because I think first game was Croatia, innit? So I think you've got to go Kane first game. No, just try not to be disrespectful to Scotland. I think they've really improved lately as well. I was pleased seeing them make the competition. But in the group, you think maybe that's where you could try something like that. You know, if we get a 3 points against Croatia, hey, I wouldn't mind Ollie Watkins coming in as the backup, you know. Dan's pointed out here, so there are 34 names here. I was going to try and count them up, so I'm glad Dan's done it for us. Who misses out? I mean, 34, so what? It goes down to 26. I mean, yeah, we're getting excited about some of these names, but there's eight people got to be dropped.
Yeah.
That's tough. That is really tough. Okay, let's bring up the main graphic again and see about whether or not there are any kind of people there that you think, okay. Right, for me, one of the keepers definitely got to go.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure. I don't know who's better between Sam Johnson and Aaron Ramsdale. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah. All right. That one's tough. Let's just say one of them's got to go because I don't think it's going to be Henderson, and it's definitely not going to be Pickford. At the defence, I'd say it's more likely to be the uncapped guys. Maybe because a lot of the times they say, oh, you know, get people around and, you know, it's about getting experience. I was watching a thing the other day, Rio Ferdinand talking about when Hoddle took him and he didn't play a minute, but he got to be around the World Cup team in 98, you know, so maybe he's seeing it as like, look, we're not traveling anywhere. You can come be with us for this week, and you kind of still are in and around the atmosphere. So maybe that's why the uncapped players are in there. So in that sense, I think you are probably going to lose, you know, players like Ben White, and who else was it? There was uncapped. There was 4 of them, weren't there?
Ben Godfrey.
Was it Godfrey as well? Yeah. What about, do you think, after what you said earlier, again, being a Chelsea fan, but do you think James is one of those likely to miss out?
Yeah, I mean, like when you think about it, you've got Alexander-Arnold, Walker, Shaw, Ben Chilwell, you know, like, and Reece James. To me, that just seems like a bit overkill of all these fullbacks, you know, and they're all okay. To me, Kyle Walker is definitely overrated this season. I mean, yeah, okay, Man City did great, but then again, when you look at his stats, really hasn't been putting shifts in like Luke Shaw, Alexander-Arnold and whatnot. Even Ben Chilwell's got better stats than him this season and better accuracy as well. But
I do feel like Walker's one of those players that goes under the radar sometimes. And
he does. I definitely agree. When he's off the ball, his pace and his positioning is very good. And that comes with his experience and his age for sure. But then obviously when it comes down to it and you look at his chances that he does create as a wing back, you'd hope that it would be more, you know, but it really isn't. I think I've got it somewhere here actually when I look at it. Kyle Walker, so 24 appearances this season, 9 clean sheets, 1 goal, 1 assist, and only 2 chances created. So it's not really. It's not. I mean, it's nothing to go home and say is the best, But then you compare it to, say, Ben Chilwell. Yeah, okay, he's a left back, but it's 27 appearances, 9 clean sheets, 3 goals, 5 assists, and 2 chances created. And even Aaron Wan-Bissaka's got way more stats, a lot better this season. He's done really well. I'm actually really surprised.
Yeah, especially to not make Wastis then 34, like Dan said. Speaking of which, Dan mentioned as well, Walker's a good option for filling in as a third centre back too. That's a good point. And also for Walker as well, you got to think. Although we're talking about the youth and stuff like that, and I think we do need. Again, and talking about how youth can benefit from just being there, even if they don't play. I think people can benefit from players like Walker just being there, So, because there was that time a few months back, wasn't it? He got the red card, and it looked like, is that his last England game? Because that was a real worry. And then he come back in the side, and he
looked like he was struggling as well a little bit. Last time, I'm actually quite upset that they've really done West Ham of really bad one here, I don't see many West Ham players. They've done brilliant this season, and they've got some great players.
I mean, to be fair, though, Lingard's pushed his way back in the side. Rice was always going to be in it, weren't he? So,
I mean, Lingard's done brilliantly. So Lingard's stats for this season was something stupid. It was like he's only had 16 appearances for them and 9 goals, 4 assists, and 3 chances created. I'm upset that I'm not seeing Aaron Cresswell, the left back from West Ham. He's had 11 clean sheets, 8 assists, and 12 chances created. He's been fancy football #1 guy recently. Anyone who's had him in his team has been doing great. And I'm upset that he hasn't got a chance to come step up, because he's got better stats than Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell at a push,
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. I mean, we're saying, players that are still kind of frustrating, they're missing out, but there's still so many got to be cut again. So if you did have him in there, you'd have to take someone else out already, and they're probably going to lose their place anyway. Exactly. Another comment from Dan. So Dan says, Pickford playing goal. I'd now go Trent right back, Maguire Stones, centre back and Shaw at left back. So if you're interested in basically figuring out 11s and stuff like that, Dan did do a video recently. Well, firstly, he did who should be in the 26. So go check that out on the channel. Dan gives his reasons who he would put on the plane. And obviously, there's still time for that video to get some more views, because Gareth ain't done his 26. He's done 34. So find out who Dan thinks would be in the 26. And he also followed that up with a starting 11 picture. I'm looking at the picture. Starting 11 squad based on the squad that he's picked as well. So, if you're interested in finding that out, obviously some of these will be a little bit different now, because obviously Gareth hasn't chosen the exact same team as Dan, but for the most part, I think a lot of them are pretty much similar. Dan's picks could be there. So an update here: Rice and Mount in the midfield, and Rashford, Grealish, and Sterling behind Kane. I
mean, okay, I understand why people pick Rice. His defensive record as a centre defensive midfielder is excellent. It's great. But then also, when you look at his midfielder roles, he really hasn't been creating that many chances that you think maybe he should have. I mean, when you look at someone like Jorginho, for instance, right, the same kind of position, but this guy every game is supplying, making chances. It makes about 3 chances a game almost, And then I saw a little bit of that from Declan at the beginning of the season, but then just for the rest of the season, I don't know, defensive work, great. But then in terms of setting up and creating that play, it's not there for me. I definitely believe that maybe it would benefit us more. Keep Mount. Mount's been excellent this season. Mount, Bellingham, Sancho. I think that's a better way to go, in my opinion. Or maybe even keep just 3 central midfielders and go with, who did I pick? Grealish as well, if he's available. Because they're so much better at creating. Grealish and Mount both have 14 chances created this season each, which is the best in the midfielder range that we have. And then on top of that, maybe even Jesse Lingard, Jude Bellingham's great defensive work as well. Probably even better defensive work than Declan Rice as well.
Do you think you might be downplaying Rice because the rumours of him going to Chelsea are starting to go quieter now? Is that why?
No,
You're he's not that good anyway.
No, honestly, like this is what I'm saying. It's like I think he's a great player. He's a quality player, but the other positions and the other players that we have for these positions,
basically, he's not shooting for the 11 like some might think he is.
No, definitely not. I think that you've got better options for sure, because especially with like our attacking ability and like the people that you're trying to supply these balls to, you definitely need to start playing more creative players like Mount and Grealish and Bellingham, Foden, people like this who open up play, make positions move, and open up spaces, if that makes sense, for these big players, for Kane and your big number 9s that really then need to just slot the ball home. That's it. And Declan's great at being able to control the pace of the game, slow it down, and pick these nice little passes out and whatnot. But I believe that our defense should be doing that anyway. It's not a case of, we need him to do that. We should then be focusing on, now we need creative midfielders to open up the attack. Yeah,
because you don't want to get, because like some of Southgate's teams have become in times too defensively minded. You know, like naming a ridiculous amount of defenders.
And if we play like that, I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
No, I mean, for me, the Nations League is a great picture of it. I've said it on this channel before and on the main Rebellious Noise channel if you want to check out older football content. But the first Nations League coming off the World Cup, incredibly exciting football, beating Spain and the likes, and then we go to the most recent Nations League. And there was a lot of injury problems and the world was in a weird place, don't get me wrong. But we were getting back to playing some boring football. I think it kind of picked up again in the last international break. But the opposition wasn't exactly high caliber, so it's hard to tell. But and he was getting some of those players back, and he was using players like Grealish. But I felt like in the Nations League in particular, it was a sign that 2 seasons were a sign of 2 different sides of England, and it's that first Nations League that I want to see again. That exciting, and obviously that was closer to the World Cup team. But ironically, we've got a lot more players that fit that style of play now than we did when we had that World Cup team. We've got all these players coming in like Sancho since then, Grealish, Bellingham, just Foden. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's very much combo players. Like it's the style of football that you're looking at now. Is more everyone wants to play like one touch like passes, start opening up defenders, play with these combo balls, and we've got a lot of players that love playing like that on the team, and that's why
you've got to be allowed to express that.
Yeah, it's way more important to have these players like Mount, Grealish, and Bellingham, and Sancho, Foden playing in midfield to create this like expression, these combos, because there's way too much talent on the field not to just start playing long balls in or crosses, and hoping for a connection at the end of it. Whereas we have so much talent in footwork and like control ability and everything, we need to start abusing that,
Yeah, definitely. Okay, obviously we're going to do a lot more Euros coverage on this channel and hopefully get you back for some of that as well, Connor. But I'm going to press you now, right? What do you see England doing at this competition with this squad, bearing in mind what we've seen today?
Okay, so my heart and my young kid hiding inside my body is like, England are winning. I want them to win. I want to see it happen. And then just like my head is just like the amount of times you've said that to yourself at all of these competitions, and then it never happens. And
ironically, except for the last one, when we were all like, nothing's going to happen, and then we actually started to do well. So it's tough.
So I don't know. I think if you look at the piece of paper and the stats, we're balling. We're at the top. I don't know where we're ranked in the world, to be honest. I think it should be pretty high up.
Yeah, it is very high.
I can imagine so.
Let's have a look at the FIFA rankings, because obviously it changes all the time. FIFA rankings. England are 4th. So you've got Belgium, France, Brazil, and England. And I mean, they're not exactly poor teams to be behind, So obviously Belgium got a decent chance themselves, in France, world champions. For me, it's all about who. Sorry.
They're quite unlucky too, Belgium, I think.
Yeah.
They have such a pumped team, but they never do it. It's always like the last hurdle they can never cross. But England,
France look strong.
I think they always do. really, really strong, and I hope they do some amazing football. If they play to their best abilities that I've seen in the Premier League and the Bundesliga and La Liga this season, then we can win it for sure, easily.
And that feels good to say as well, by the way, what you just said there, because we've got a lot of England players that are actually getting a chance in the Premier League. That wasn't happening a few years ago.
Yeah, of course.
High kind of like Mount, you know, he's the Chelsea boy. He's the star now at Chelsea, you know. So like, you know, people like that. And then you've got, like you say, La Liga and Bundesliga, like people going out there and getting experience. So, and it feels really good that that's like, you know, like the days of Gaza going away to Italy and Lineker going to Spain, you know, it feels like that. Again, Spain not taking Ramos though. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a point for another show though, Dan. You know that. Hashtag it's coming home. I'm flipping out. You're right. But yeah, again, I'm going to press you again, like Connor. Give me a stage we're going out. I don't mean to say that like we're going out. What you can say winning it. I just say like what stage are we getting to?
I definitely believe that we're getting to the quarterfinals. I think that's going to happen. Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
It's going to be quarterfinal, semi-final. I reckon
it's all the draw. It's all going to depend on the draw. And I've got a really bad feeling that our quarterfinal draw is going to be tough. I can't remember who it is, but when you look at the possibilities, it ain't pretty. Whoever it is, I think it might be Germany. Which you know that would be tough.
I know you're saying this, but it's like it's weird. But I almost think that all these big teams that are used to winning all these massive games, their teams aren't as great as they used to be. You know, like they're not playing with the same kind of experience anymore. A lot of these teams, especially the German teams, very young. You know. Yeah. And you saw that, especially in the last competition, where they just couldn't do anything. You know, it was almost like they just played for the first time together. You know.
So strange after that, the way that team was built up as well. But obviously changing coach soon as well. So are they going to want to see him out with a? Yeah, so I'm sure they're going to want to see him out with a big.
That's a huge thing to change as well. Like, because then that's a whole new playbook. You know, that's a whole new tactic.
It's like admitting it is the end of an era, sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. Like they've kind of. So it's hard for him to start rebuilding. I mean, this would be a perfect capital for him. Spain as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason a lot of the Real Madrid players ain't been picked. It ain't just because Real Madrid haven't had a great season. It's also because the talent's clearly not there, because it's not just a Real Madrid thing. That is reflective of Spanish, kind of like the Spanish league, Spanish football, Spanish footballers at the moment. Don't get me wrong, they'll probably come and whip us now I've said that. But like they're great, don't get me, there's a lot of great players there. But obviously this year it's not clicked for Real Madrid. It's not really clicked in that league. For, you know, Barcelona haven't been great lately either, you know, like in comparison. So yeah, it's not just about Real Madrid, and you're right. But then you've got like teams like the Netherlands and Italy rising up the ranks again. So man, it's going to be
that's the same with us. If you think about it, it's all the young talent that we've just been like pushing through. I mean, this comes down to as well our youth program that we have in England and the Premier League. And you noticed it when there was no up and coming English players, and that's because that was when they decided to build St George's Park and this whole program to pull it through. Now we're only just seeing the rewards of this program that was put there about 20 years ago, and all these players like Grealish, Mount, Rice.
It's such a big part of it now as well. Like, it's all part of the culture going to St George's Park and stuff. You know, like they build a real team bonding and stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that watch the videos when they go to national break and it shows them getting out of the car, like in high-fiving each other. Like I just watch those because I love seeing the England team like just gel, and like it really is a thing of like off the pitch is an important thing. And you know, we've all banged on about that before, but
it's I always think it's whoever believes in the future and the technology, you know, it's the people that are going to actually succeed in these future competitions, you know, like, and we did it well. And I think we're going to produce even more talent years to come. Just think about all the people that we can put through these programs and support all of these young people as well, especially people from backgrounds that don't really have chances and whatnot. And I think it's really important to get these people involved because you really don't know where the talent lies, you know, and, now, especially this England team, it's kind of showing the world, you know, like this is how you do it, you know, pull these people from all walks of life, put them in one team, and you'll see what they do for each other because they spent their whole lives trying to work for it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And on that positive note, we'll wrap things up. Connor, thank you very much for joining.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you. No worries. For those watching live and those watching on demand, if you like what you see, please subscribe and check out more of the Rebellious Noise Football Channel's content. Like I said, we've got a few other England squad-based videos at the moment. Anyway, we've got Dan's Who Should Be in the 26. You might have seen Dan's comments along the show tonight, today even. Cool, I'm all over the place. And England's starting 11, who Dan would take as well. But we've got a lot more coming up as well. This is the actual squad, don't forget. Let us know again in the comments what you think. Who do you think should go? Who should be cut out of this? Obviously, you've got to take 8 people away, which is, you know, it's harsh. And like I said earlier, it might be a really, really devastating kind of thing for some of these players. Yeah. But hey, I guess it's just how it is, isn't it? But we got some great players to choose from. And I think I'm confident, like I was before it was named, I'm confident that whoever goes could do a good job. And obviously there were certain names that we just really wanted to be in this version of the squad. And I just hope they kind of, for me personally, I think you have to get Trent. I know he didn't have the great start of the season. You have to get players like Grealish. I know he's been in and out at times. And as an Arsenal bias, I'd really like to see Saka go. But anyway, once again, Connor, thank you very much for joining. And yeah, we'll see you guys for more Euros content. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to RNFC, the official Rebellious Noise Football Channel, where you'll find content such as goal hanging, live match reactions, as well as news and opinions on all aspects of the beautiful game. We will also cover some of the more cultural side of the sport, such as kit reviews, football nostalgia, and in-depth historical pieces on those who built the game that we love today. So win, lose or draw, make sure you subscribe before the full-time whistle blows.